Okay. Oh, look at that.
Hey guys, it's all that jazz. I'm back with another video. So today I'm about to be telling you guys about my labor and delivery stories. So while you're there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then just stay to the end so you can go ahead and like it and comment below. Tuesday, October 14th, the hospital had called me to get induced. I was 38 weeks with both boys, and they didn't want me to go past that just to be safe. So the first thing, I went to the hospital, grabbed my bag, everything.
Are you feeling baby move regularly?
Yes.
Are you feeling any contractions at all?
No.
Yes. You good?
So we'll get you all admitted and then call the doctor and see what you're out going to go for induction. Could be a Cervidil, which is like a vaginal insert, or it might be an oral medication.
Okay.
So we'll see what they're thinking.
Okay.
Okay, so they decided to give me Cytotec for a pill to start to soften my cervix, and then we'll do Pitocin. So right now I'm about to get my IV, blood taken, and do this COVID test. So we're about to see how this Cytotec, she wants me to kind of swallow or hold it under my tongue till it dissolves. So let's see. The first step that they took for inducing me was they gave me the Cytotec pill, and she told me to put it under my tongue and just let it melt. When I got to the hospital, I was only 1 centimeter. I was 1 centimeter dilated for like 2 weeks. They had just checked me the week before and then a couple days before, and they were just trying to like see if it would progress. But I think if they could have stayed till 40 weeks, they would have stayed until 40 weeks. But I was just going based off what the doctor recommended. Basically, after the Cytotec pill, then we ended up waiting like 4 or 5 hours. The doctor came in, she kept checking to see how dilated I was, and then after that she gave me the balloon, I think the Foley balloon, yeah, she put that in there. That wasn't fun because I believe that included, she had to put a catheter in, and that part was terrible. So after she did that, it was like 5 p.m. They checked me at like 12 a.m. and I was 6 centimeter dilated. After that, they came back like a couple hours later and I still didn't dilate anymore. Then I was talking to the doctor. It was overwhelming. I'm like, look, I'm not dilating. Like, I don't want to keep, they kept giving me Pitocin to get the dilation moving, like, you know, keep on, but I was not dilating anymore. And I was there for a long time. I was there from like 12:30 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. as far as like for waiting to have the baby. So then we ended up discussing a C-section. If you hear rattling, it's because of the babies in the background, but which I'll introduce you guys to in my next video. But basically, it was a long time. Like, I was just like, all right, at this point I wanted to do vaginal, but C-section not looking too bad, so let's get that process started. I know people have been induced for 3 and 4 and 5 days, but not me. I was just overwhelmed. It was a point in the middle where I did get an epidural, and that was terrible. But once they do it, it's quick, and it also depends on who you had. Y'all, I ended up having to have, for getting my IV in, I had a whole new trainee. She got the blood going everywhere in my hand. I'm like, Lord, it's just the beginning. Like, why I gotta have somebody new? Why? And I understand people have to learn, but can I not be the person you learning on today? Just not today. Then the person who did my epidural, I could tell he'd been doing this for years. Like, he was like in and out. And the only reason I know that because I had to get an epidural again. They gave me an epidural 3 times total. So the second time it was another guy, and I could tell he did it before. Then the third time it was a lady, and I realized afterwards, I didn't realize she was new, but the guy, he was watching her in the corner. I'm like, why are you standing over there watching? After all was said and done, I was like, oh, because she was like learning, and I was just like, she just took so much longer. Like, all the first 2 guys, they did it really quick, yet it still hurt. And what it feels like is like a whole bunch of liquid just going into your body, and then literally you just go numb. Like I felt it going through, and that was honestly like the painful part. I wouldn't even say that it's the needle or the catheter. It was like feeling that sensation of like I'm going numb right now. I was having contractions, and at first I wasn't feeling them, but then I got to a point where I was like, oh, okay, now I know what a contraction is. Because my whole pregnancy, I'm like, what is that gonna feel like? Everybody says it feels like cramps. Yeah, it feels like cramps on 20,000. So basically, I got an epidural, but they were recommending I get that anyway, because just in case I had to move forward with the C-section. That was in the beginning. So anyway, skip forward past 3 whole epidurals, y'all. Like for some reason, after the second epidural, my body was not taking any more of it.
We go. All that jazz. Here again. So, you want to tell them what's going on?
You gonna tell them?
Jazz just got the epidural. 5 shots to the back. Pumped her full of liquid cocaine. Now she's shaking like a stripper.
It's no joke.
Huh?
It's no joke, for real.
Yeah, she's shaking for real, boy.
But can you
It's just like when I was on the corner before you cleaned me off. You cleaned me up, cause you know I was on that big time.
push this pillow up under me some more?
This one here.
Hello.
And once again, purple is contraction line. The heartbeats.
Yeah, you see him at the top corner?
At the top right, you see 130, 142, 81, 140.
Okay. Say hey to Noah and Levi.
What's good, kids?
Wow.
Daddy's tired.
Daddy is tired. Like, he's the one about to deliver, y'all.
Daddy gotta go to work in a few hours.
Daddy's off tomorrow.
I'm not off on Wednesdays.
You gonna be off.
Shit, we both can't be off all week.
My short term started at 12:30 when I walked in this door.
Daddy done had 75 jobs to provide for you two and mommy.
Yeah, he has. But like I was saying, my body was not taking the medicine for some reason. Like what he did was he used a needle after he gave me the epidural, or kept pumping me with it, and would fill my stomach. Like, this is before the C-section, to make sure I didn't feel the cut. So he would poke certain areas of my stomach and say, do you feel this? Do you feel that? And I felt every poke. Like, he used a needle. And then he was like, okay, so he'll pump me more. I promise he did that like 4, 5, 6 times before I got the third epidural. And I'm like, I'm still feeling this needle. So come to find out, my catheter had fell out because I kept having to switch sides, lay on the different side, prop up my stomach because I was hurting. I had some abdominal pain. So after he did that, we went to, my husband got ready. He got all dressed up for the surgery. He had to wear his clothes, and then they prepped me. I had to put the little cap on. They rolled me out the room, and we headed to do surgery. So for the surgery, it was crazy because they laid me down. I was on the table, and the doctor I was familiar with, I had seen her during my pregnancy before. And she started like right away, like they was like, all right, boom, we ready. And I'm like, hold on, so my husband's sitting on the side, and then they ended up like prepping me, and she took the knife, whatever they use, and she about to slice me, and I felt that. So they were like, if you feel anything, let us know. I'm over here like, I'm still out of it, but I'm waving my arm like under the table, because they cover you for C-section. I'm like, I feel that. So the next thing I know, the guy who did my epidural is behind me, and he's like, just take this oxygen, so I'm thinking like, oh, bet, it's helping me breathe, like, okay, cool. I put that thing in, and I was knocked out. Like, I don't know anything that happened. I mean, I don't really want to feel it, but I think I was feeling the pressure. Like, my husband was saying that I was awake, and like I was asleep, but I was awake. It was crazy. So then after it was all said and done, he said it wasn't a long process. I don't know what happened after that. All I know is he told me I woke up, and I told him no matter what happens, when they take the babies out, follow them wherever they gotta go. You know how they gotta test them, go with them, I'll be okay. So I woke up, blah, 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 and then like, I guess I forgot. I'm like, where's my husband? Where my babies at? Like, what's going on? They're like, yeah, they'll be back, you're okay, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like, okay, they're gonna come back. And they're like, yeah, they're gonna come back. So eventually I got to see my babies, Noah and Levi, and then they were perfectly healthy and fine. One baby, Noah, was 6 pounds and 0 ounces, and then Levi was 5 pounds and 15 ounces. Noah and Levi over there at the sink, the door you come in. There's my baby Levi, my baby Noah, rocking chair, TV, for someone else to stay. Food, bed. Now we're about to leave. During the delivery, I was get overwhelmed and emotional because it just felt like it was a really long time. Like, I was just like, okay, I can only take this pain for so long. Like, I'm trying to be strong, but it was not easy. And of course I didn't expect it to be, but really. And then when I saw their heads and their body, I'm like, I was gonna push both of those out. I'm okay. Other than that, we went through like 4 different shifts of teams because they worked 7 to 7, and it was 7 to 7, 7 to 7, and a whole new person every you know, new rotation or whatever. But pretty much I appreciated the service, that they were really pleasant. Only thing that I feel is I just shouldn't have been there for that long. I feel like it just should have, I know they try to help you have vaginal, but because I had twins, I think maybe, I'm not a doctor, but I think before a whole 24 hours, it should have been a decision of like, okay, let's do a C-section, because after all of this, I was like super swollen. I mean, I know that comes with it, but I just think some things could have been prevented. During my stay, it was pretty good. My husband was there, but for COVID, we could only have one person. So he was there, and then he ended up having to go to work, and they were like giving us a hard time about my mom coming to stay and help. And I'm like, I can't be recovering and taking care of 2 babies in the hospital by myself. Like, I'm gonna need help. I could barely get out the bed. So anyway, they ended up saying like, okay, well, your husband can't come back. They can't switch back and forth. So she ended up coming and staying with me from like Thursday to Sunday and helping out with the babies, feeding, sleeping. So they had a lactation consultant. Like, they were on point. Like, we had a lactation consultant try to help me with latching on. Although right now I am supplementing. It was a journey. It was hard. I'm not even gonna lie. It was hard. That epidural had me shaking. It had me like, I felt like I was on drugs. Like, it was really kind of scary. But I would have pushed through without the epidural if they didn't say you might have to get a C-section. They said if I got an epidural, I didn't get an epidural without a C-section, that they would have just put me to sleep, which ended up happening anyway. Overall, I'm alive. People are asleep on pregnancy and labor and delivery. Like, it's a process. It's crazy. The only thing was Noah did have to, he had respiratory issues. She also manually broke my bag for baby A, which is Noah, at one point of trying to go through the dilation, and that still like didn't, broke my water basically, and that still didn't like push things forward. So anyway, he had some respiratory, so they had to keep him on antibiotics for like 2 days. I stayed there from Wednesday to Sunday, so for recovery. I am right now 4 weeks postpartum, and I still feel, you know, some pain, but it's not as bad as day 1. That pretty much sums up my labor and delivery.
Here you go. Here we go. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Oh, look at that.
Thank you so much if you subscribe and you've been on my sister lock journey / pregnancy journey. Now we're about to go into mommy journey, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in my next video.